psychology class. The project is to psychoanalyze a member of my family, and I chose my brother Walter because God knows there's stuff wrong with Walter. He recently did something really immature by losing $6,000 just to invest in this shady business. Anyway, he did something that affected our family a lot, so I want to find out what were his motivations behind it and talk to each member of my family, including Walter, to see what our new opinions of him are. So without further ado, let's begin the project. Hi Walter, welcome, come on in. So, what seems to be the problem, Walter?
So the problem is, I lost all the money that I invested. Mama gave me $6,000 and told me to use $3,000 of that for Benita and only use $3,000 to invest. And I invested all $6,000 of it, and now all of it's gone. My partners ran away with all the money that we were investing with, and now I don't have anything, and I can't even go back to the family now. I don't know what to say.
So how do you feel about losing all of that money from your business?
I feel so bad. Like, as much as I wanted to make more money, I feel even worse that I lost the money that was supposed to be for Benita, and I can't go back to the family. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Why did you do it? Why did you invest all the money and not keep some for my school money?
I had bigger dreams for the family. I wanted to see pearls on my wife's neck. I wanted a better life for my family. I wanted a better life where Mama didn't have to start sweeping the floors again. I didn't want Travis to suffer. I had dreams to own yachts one day. I wanted so much better for our family, and now that's not going to happen.
Well, what are you going to do about it now?
I lost what no man should ever have to lose. I lost one of the most important things to a man. I lost my pride. And I was going to lose my pride even more by going up to that man and getting the money and finding a new house to live in. But no, I'm going to keep my pride, I'm going to keep my respect, and I'm going to stick with my family, and I'm going to move into that new house. We're going to move into that new house. I don't care if it's in the middle of some white neighborhood and all the other people are going to care. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to keep my pride. I'm going to stick with my family, and I'm going to give us a better life.
Okay, Mama, have a seat right there. I'm going to ask a few questions about Walter, so just try to answer as honestly as possible. So to start, how do you feel about Walter losing all of that money? That was yours and Daddy's money, so what do you think?
After receiving the money, I really had to contemplate what I wanted to do with it, and I remember Ruth telling me that Walter really had his heart set on opening up a new business because I knew he wanted to improve the life of our family, especially for his son Travis. But then I also remembered that Benita needs the money in order to pay for her medical schooling, and I really didn't know what to do, so I made the bold decision of doing something that would help our entire family, which was buy a house. And after I did that, I didn't realize how much money would be left over, and I saw Walter go into this deep depression where he didn't even care for his wife anymore. He would just go to the green hat every day, and that's no way that a man, especially my son, who I raised with his father with barely any money, and we raised him to be I think a good man, even though he might not have the best job in the world. I mean, he does drive around someone every day, but at least he has a job, and at least he has a family, and at least we all get to be together. I mean, I know the way I got this money was because my husband passed away, but I thought Walter turned out to be a really good man until I realized that his only focus was on money. He told me that money was life, and I couldn't just give him the money after saying that, but I saw the effect it had on him when I made the decision to buy the house, because he no longer felt like a man. He no longer felt like he was the man of the house. So as soon as I saw this change that had occurred to him, I decided to give him the rest of the money, but I gave him the responsibility of at least putting half of it away into an account for Benita for her medical schooling, because I want her to become a doctor. But when he came and he told us that he had lost all the money, it was very disappointing, because I thought he would at least have done the one thing I asked, the one condition I had for him to when I gave him the money, which was put aside this money for his sister, for the one thing she wanted was to be able to be a doctor, and he took that chance away from her. I mean, I realized I took the chance away from him to opening up the business when I decided to buy the house, but in the end, I still gave him the money. Once he lost that money, he wasn't able to give it to his sister. I see Walter as a good man, but him losing that money was a big disappointment. He's like this plant I own that we have in the apartment. It still grows every day, even though it's like in the apartment, there's like no sunshine, and I really can only give it water and just hope that it grows. But it still grows. I mean, it's a really healthy plant, and it surprises his wife every day that it continuously grows. And I saw Walter like that as I raised him as a child into adulthood. But my child ended up disappointing me because I thought he would be better than the decision that he made. I thought he would not take all that I gave him for himself. He needs to learn to take care and love not only himself but his family, not just his wife, not just his son, but his sister and me, because doing that not only affected himself, but it affected the entire family. And now all we have is this house, and with this house, Walter will not be able to do what he wants to do, and neither will Benita.
Are you angry at Walter? Do you feel like what he did was selfish?
Yes, of course. In the beginning, I was very mad at Walter because he didn't do the one thing I asked of him. But I knew I couldn't be angry at him forever. He is my son, and I love him. So I'm not still mad at him. I understand what he did. I mean, he was driven so crazy by his dream and wanting to do this that I can see why he did what he did. However, I still think it was a wrong decision, but you know, you make the decisions and you just have to live with them, even if it does affect you in the way you didn't think it would. I have forgiven him because I know it wasn't his fault. He didn't know that was going to happen. It was his fault that we lost all the money because I did ask him to put some aside, but it wasn't his fault that we ended up losing all the money. So I'm not sure exactly why he decided to put all his money in it. I think it's because for so long he didn't have all the money he wanted. I mean, and he was so like sad in the situation that we were in because we all had to live in the same house. I had to work. Ruth had to work. Travis slept in the living room on a sofa as his bedroom. So I could see like this desperation that he had that made him want to put all the money into Willie Harris to open this business so that his dream could become a reality. But life decided not to work out for him that way. But I mean, I forgive him, and I can see why he did that. I just wish that he wouldn't have lost all our money.
Now that everything is all said and done, do you think Walter's changed at all? I mean, he did seem selfish for what he did. He shouldn't have invested all the money, and he definitely shouldn't have done that to us as a family. But now that we've thought about it, are you angry at him? Do you think that maybe he's changed?
In this past week, I really do think Walter has changed. At first, it was a really bad change because all he could focus on was money, and then all he could focus on was how he lost that money and how he ruined everything and how nothing ever works out for him. And it really did become the lowest point of his life. That was the worst I had ever seen him in. Our whole family was changed in a negative way the day we found out that he lost all the money. Not only him, but Benita and Ruth. But when Mr. Linder came to talk to us about where we were living and how they wanted us to move, that's when I saw Walter change for the good. He actually spoke against the man and told him that we would still live there. I mean, at first, I wasn't sure of the decision he would make based on how he felt about money in the past, but I think him losing the money really did make him realize what was important in life, because when he spoke to Mr. Linder, for once that in his entire life that I have known him, he rejected the money that Mr. Linder was offering for us to move away from the house that I had bought. And that was one of the proudest moments I could have ever had for him. I mean, it wasn't like he won a big award or something, but it was the fact that he realized that he doesn't need money to make everything in this world better. He doesn't need money to make his dreams come true. He realized at that moment that family is what matters, and he stood there and stood up to this man, and he made his point to Benita, to me, to Travis, and I think losing this money, even though it was a bad thing, it turned out to be very good because he finally stepped into his manhood that day.
Alright, Ruth, come on in and have a seat. I'm going to ask you a few questions about your husband, okay? So to start, how do you feel about Walter losing all the money? Do you think what he did was selfish?
I think it was really selfish. I mean, Mama trusted him with the money, believing that he would invest only half of it and the rest would go for your tuition. But he spent it all on the people. Like, he trusted them. Even I didn't even trust them. They're shady people. Like, his friends, they didn't make any sense. But Walter, he had that big dream of making it big and trying to live a fancy life. But it has to be more realistic. So I'm upset at Walter for doing that.
Are you angry at Walter for what he did? Does it bother you that even despite Mama telling him to not invest all the money, that he did it anyway?
I understand him. I mean, he wants to make it big for his family. Like, he wants us to live a fancy life. But the way he does it is unrealistic. He should focus more on the family's dream, not just his own.
And you know, Ruth, you told him not to trust those guys, right? You said nothing good would come out of it if he invested in money, if he went along with those guys about his dreams. Is it that you didn't support his dreams? Or do you think maybe it was unrealistic?
I supported Walter. I did everything I could do as a wife. I woke up early in the morning to cook him breakfast. I supported him as much as I could do. Like, what else does he want from me? The thing is, I don't want fancy pearls around my neck. All I wanted was a house where everyone can live in. I'm even willing to lose my child for it, to make my dream come true.
Do you think Walter's changed at all? I mean, you've been with him longer than all of us. You know him the best. Do you think he's changed throughout the course of any of this?
I think Walter did change. I mean, he started becoming more friendly to me, and we even went to the movies before. And I even saw him at his lowest point when the representative came and he almost accepted that money. But the thing is, after that point, he could only improve. And I think he did, because he started working towards the goal of our family's goal of living in that house, and he rejected the man's offer. So Walter did change throughout the course of events.
So from my project, I concluded a lot of things about Walter. He definitely has different sides to his personality. On one hand, the family thought he was selfish for going for his dreams the way he did. But in a way, we're all kind of similar like that, our family. Walter had his dreams of becoming rich and respectable. And I think part of that motivation stems from the fact that he just wants the best for his family, for his wife and his son, Travis. And another part of that is the things that my mom and my dad couldn't give Walter when he was a young kid. And that's what makes us similar, because while he has his dreams, I also have mine of becoming a doctor. Ruth and Mama have theirs of owning a house, of a garden. Everybody has their own, and a lot of our family is really similar like that. So Walter isn't that different. He just made some mistakes in the sense that he would have done whatever he could to achieve those dreams. And while he shouldn't be punished for what he did, he's definitely going to have to make up for it a lot when we move to our new house. But he's shown us a new side of him, and he's definitely grown these past few weeks being at home and achieving his dreams. So that's what I concluded from my project after psychoanalyzing all of my family members.